that person, by telling you, well, somebody else took our seat, they are then asking you to go scour the crowd.
Right.
And
Well, I was
find
in the
empty
correct
seats.
seat, but
Yeah.
this was happening all around me. Yes, which is the whole problem.
Yeah, jail. I'm okay with jail.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Or shame. Publicly shame them.
That doesn't do it. There's no such thing anymore.
On the Jumbotron?
There's no such thing
if
anymore.
In between innings, they're like, here are the seat nappers.
Buddy, they put Brandon Johnson on the Jumbotron. There's no such thing as shame. Okay? Like, jail. You need to go to jail.
Welcome back to Macrodosing. It is Tuesday. It's April 8th, and it's brought to you by Steven Singer Jewelers. Guess what's coming up, Big T? Guess what holiday we got just in, I'd say, a month and a half, 2 months.
Okay, so I was going to say Easter, but I guess we're blowing right by that. A month and a half.
It's a fake holiday.
So like the end of May.
Let's
Memorial
say June.
Day.
No, it's June. We're talking June, Mother's Day.
June. Ah, okay.
Mother's Day.
Okay, that's a little more than a month and a half.
Yeah, Mother's Day is coming up soon. But you know what? It's good that it's like a month and a half, 2 months out, because you don't want to wait to the last minute to buy your mom a present. Do you call your mom? Do you call her every day? Or do you just call her on special occasions or once in a blue moon? Steven Singer Jewelers wants to help you tell the moms in your life every single day how appreciated they are. And Steven Singer is introducing his brand new limited edition 24-karat gold-dipped Blue Moon Rose for Mother's Day. Skip flowers, those die in a week. Steven Singer Jewelers' signature gold-dipped roses are real roses dipped in real 24-karat gold. They're guaranteed to last a lifetime. That way she can remember how loved she is all year long. I talked to my mom yesterday. I'm definitely getting her a brilliant, bright blue rose with diamond-like sparkles. It's a forever gift of a real long-stem 24-karat gold-dipped rose, and it's got Steven's full lifetime guarantee. It comes to you in an impressive gift box and your own personalized Mother's Day note. Perfect gift for mom for Mother's Day. Get your Mother's Day shopping done ahead of time. Go to Steven Singer and get one of those roses. You can order them now at IHateStevenSinger.com. Hurry, because these will not be restocked. Supply is limited. Shipping is always complimentary. That means free. Nothing says I love you like a real, authentic Steven Singer 24-karat gold-dipped rose that lasts forever. Only available from Steven Singer Jewelers in Philly or online at IHateStevenSinger.com. All right, we're back on Macrodosing. So I think this is our first podcast since being liberated, right?
It is.
All right, I feel liberated. Big T, do you feel liberated?
Yes.
Mad Dog McKids, you guys liberated? I burned my bra the other day. I'm so liberated. Yeah.
I'm a little bit scared.
That's part of being liberated, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then I'm feeling probably very liberated on the amount of fear I have.
When you're afraid, that means that you're alive. That's how you know. Now we're back. Arian is participating in another professional athlete golf tournament today. That's pretty much his career.
Yeah.
Right?
I hope this one has stats like the other one did.
Can somebody come up with a diagram like the Mad Libs online that get upset when Trump golfs? Let's figure out how much work Arian Foster is missing on golf trips, trying to win club championships.
Says he'll be back on Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see about that. But, I mean, it's not like you can't work from a golf course. Deals get closed on a golf course. Speaking of Liberation Day, we should check in and see how our stock market investing is doing that we did based on the stars. So let's see, is astrology real or not when it comes to investing money? Let's check in the portfolio. Just randomly decided to pull it up today. It's been a few months.
Mm-hmm. I secretly checked it a little bit ago. Oh, my God.
How are we doing? Is that good?
Oh, my God. Oh, no.
Is this good?
No. So originally we started with $1,000. Mm-hmm. Do you want to guess what we're at right now?
700.
874.
683.
Okay. Not great, but that we should buy now. They're at a discount.
What was it at a week ago?
A week ago, it was at 781. So
it was doing bad before that.
Well, it's, you know what, this is fake news, because if we had checked it in like a 5-minute window earlier this morning, we would probably be up money.
Yeah,
we had a nice little rebound this morning when a person inaccurately transcribed an interview that was done like 3 hours ahead of time, and then the entire world fell for a tweet, and was like, okay, the stocks are good now. And then they had to come up and be like, yeah, that's not a real tweet.
A month ago, it was at 874.
Is it a little bit scary that now, like, global stock prices can be manipulated by one guy just sending a tweet?
Yes.
Yes, I think you should ask yourself why that is.
Like a random person sending a tweet? Why do you think it is?
I mean, it's all fake. Like, it's all...
Well, I mean, the stock market is based on the valuation of real companies and the business that they might end up doing.
But they fluctuate based on shit like that.
Yeah, a random guy. It's crazy to me that one person can do that and just completely turn the economy around briefly for like 5 minutes. That was a crazy 5 minutes, though. It was like, we're fucked. We're so back. We're fucked. Like that quick.
It's like Duke.
It was, yeah, like the end of Duke. That was a fun game to watch, wasn't it?
Great ball game.
You like watching Houston?
Sometimes.
I do.
Not when they're playing Tennessee, I don't.
I like watching them. So by the time you're listening to this, we'll know who won the national championship in basketball. I'm going to take Houston.
Really?
I think Houston's going to do it. I got money on Florida, but I think Houston's going to do it.
I'm pretty confident Florida's going to win.
Is that your SEC homerism?
No, I hate Florida.
Okay.
Why would I?
I don't know.
We did this. Brandon and I did this with Titus, I think, during the SEC tournament. Like, nobody roots for other teams. Like, this is a gaslighting thing that the rest of America's done because they hate the success that a lot of SEC teams have had over the years. I hate every other team in the SEC. I do not root for them to do well.
Okay, you don't root for them to do well, but in like 6 months, you're going to want to like point back and be like, look at our record against non-conference teams. You're going to use that.
I think there's something to be said for how difficult it was to play in the SEC this year.
Right, you're going to use that as a data point
but
later
I don't
on.
root for them to have success otherwise.
I got you. That makes sense. Like, you're not going to cheer on your arch rival.
Like Tennessee going whatever they did in the SEC and making it to the SEC championship game, like those are accomplishments because the league was very hard.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't root for the other teams to win like in the tournament.
Right. But if you do get to like, you know, the finals in the SEC tournament and the SEC is by far the best league in the country, then you can use that to be like, look how good we were.
Sure. Like if you beat a lot of good teams, then it's better for you. Like,
yeah. But at the end of the day, you don't want to see Gator fans chomping.
Yeah, I would rather them not win.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to.
I was about to say something, but then I realized that once this podcast comes out, people will know the actual thing that happened, so I don't want to necessarily say it.
What is that?
I just love the Cougars. I love them.
Why wouldn't you want to say that?
No, I'm
in
diluting.
Case they lose?
I'm diluting my take that I was
Okay.
going to say. I just really like watching them play. I'm bummed.
What is your take? We'll bleep it.
I am upset that this is the end of college basketball because I want to watch more Houston Cougars basketball.
You might be the first person to ever say that.
I know. They're fun. You saw that drill that they do every practice?
Mm-hmm.
They just roll the ball out there and
Yeah.
wrestle?
Yeah. Creates a culture.
It's good shit. We should do that here at Barstool
I would love that.
to end every single day.
Wait, what did they do?
They roll a basketball out onto the court, and they have two guys that just sprint after it and like wrestle each other for the
I
ball.
used to do that in high school.
Did you?
Yeah, our varsity basketball coach.
Like
he
dive
was
on the
worst.
ground?
Yes. He would just roll the ball out in the middle, and then two girls would just see who could get it first.
That sounds like a recipe for a lot of not necessarily injuries, but like floor burns.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I was like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever done in my life.
Yeah.
It makes sense if you're like at a high level, but like, we didn't need to be doing that.
It's about
varsity
toughness.
Basketball. Exactly.
Trying to instill a culture.
Yeah.
That's how the XFL used to figure out kickoffs.
Oh,
In
yeah,
the
you
original
said that
XFL, yeah.
before.
They would roll a football, and then they would fight for it. And then on the very first kickoff in the history of the XFL, a guy tore his ACL doing that.
Right.
Who could have
That's
seen
what you
that
get.
coming?
Couldn't have seen that.
Now, you claim to be one of the world's foremost football guys. Do you watch the UFL?
No.
Okay. So then, like, who's watching that is my question.
I think people in St. Louis,
yeah.
they love the Battlehawks.
Yeah.
They love their Battlehawks. One of my good friends from DC is a diehard Defenders fan as well.
Okay.
He's on a DC Defenders group chat.
See,
And-
you can't have team. They need to be in St. Louis or I don't know, Greenville, South Carolina. Like, they need to be in places where there are no other, certainly not football, but even just no professional teams whatsoever.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that would be that'd be a much smarter way to do it. And in DC, the Defenders, I think, were second behind the Battlehawks for the 2020 XFL in terms of attendance. And that's because everybody hated the Commanders then. I think they were the football team at the time. Everyone hated Dan Snyder, and so they're like, fuck him, let's just go to Defenders games. But then that's kind of dipped down a little bit since.
So Dan Snyder selling was the worst thing that ever happened to the Defenders.
Yes. They were the ones that really took it to the shorts on that one.
I hate to see that.
But yeah, my buddy is on a group chat, and they sent, like, it'll be the middle of October, and this group chat will be buzzing because they, like, signed some guy from UConn to a futures contract.
I love that.
They got their finger on the pulse of it. What do we got in the news today, Big T?
I mean, obviously, you touched on Liberation Day. That seems to be all anybody's talking about. Did you see Trump claimed today that he was one of the first people to say that the Mookie Betts trade from the Red Sox to the Dodgers was bad?
Are you serious?
Yeah, he said, because
I did not see that.
The Dodgers are at the White House, and he was he goes, Mookie, he sure can play, can he? He goes, when they traded him, I know people, I said it was bad. I said it wasn't going to work. And then
he said it wasn't going to work for the Dodgers, or
no, for the Red Sox.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because Mookie's so good.
Yeah,
which I think was a pretty universally shared opinion.
Yeah.
He also then brought Shohei into the Oval Office, and Shohei seemed very excited to be there.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. Good for him.
Yeah.
What do you think the Shohei Ohtani of golf would be?
I mean, Tiger in a like. What do you mean the
racist.
Shohei Ohtani of golf?
Like personality?
No,
like skill?
Like a guy that can do two things. Like Travis Hunter is the Shohei Ohtani of football.
Okay.
Right? What would the Shohei Ohtani of golf be able to do?
Do you have an answer to this question? Like, I'm confused.
No, I can think it through. We asked Max Homa, he's on Wednesday's Part of My Take, who the Shohei Ohtani of golf would be, or what those skills would be.
Okay.
And I think he just said like a guy that can drive and putt or something like that.
Right. And also a global phenomenon, so Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
Who's also the best.
I would say it's a guy that can, the more impressive thing in golf would be a guy that can golf really well and also connect on a high five with his caddy.
Okay.
Because that's mutually exclusive right now.
Who can't do one or the other?
No professional golfer has ever landed a high five.
Really?
It never happens.
I haven't noticed this.
They always miss. They like hit each other on the forearms. Sometimes a guy will go for a fist bump and the other guy goes for a high five. Golfers and caddies are never on the same page when it comes to that.
I'll look out for that this week.
I mean, you can look at Tiger when he had that chip in back in, I don't know, it was a long time ago. The iconic chip in where the ball teetered on the edge of the cup.
2006?
And him and his caddy just whiffed on the high five right afterwards. It never works out.
It's
2005.
always so awkward.
Yeah, very awkward. But it is Masters week. Big T's got his finest Masters quarter zip.
Good week. And mini golf week here as well.
That's right. So, Big T, what do you think this week has in store for us?
I genuinely have no idea. Kirk has texted me twice over the last couple of weeks that just like, hey, it's Skip. Tournament's coming up. Stay ready. And I'm just like, yeah, for sure. That's all I know. I don't know who I'm playing with. I don't know who we're playing against. I don't know. I saw the course this morning. It looks great. That's the extent of my knowledge.
If there's one thing about Kirk and his leadership ability, Kirk Minahan is relentless in his positive reinforcement. I've gotten, I think, 4 or 5 texts from Kirk in the last couple of weeks, just gassing me up, just saying, we're counting on you. You're going to do great. Just like always the optimist. That's what I love about a guy like Kirk.
He texted me on Wednesday, March 26th.
Why are you laughing?
No reason.
It's my captain.
Yeah.
He texted me on Wednesday,
Probably
March
'cause you're a male.
26th. 2 weeks from today, the tournament begins. Remain focused. And I just sent him the salute emoji.
Yeah. Oh, I bet he ate that salute emoji up.
Yeah. So we're locked in.
Yeah. I'm pretty pumped. I walked the course yesterday.
Okay. Did you get a feel?
Got a feel for it. Got a feel for the greens. Greens were a little bit slow yesterday.
Okay. You were practicing?
I practiced on one hole.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to. We can cut this out of the podcast, but a week and a half ago, before they installed the holes, I found the blueprint for the holes.
Game
Okay,
runs through
Jerry.
you.
I jerried it, and I took a picture of it. I'm not going to say what I did with the picture. Not going to say who I may have texted it to.
I can tell you who you didn't text it to was the rest of your team because I didn't see it.
Well, maybe I texted it to somebody that would be able to text it the rest of the team.
That never made its way to me. That's all I know.
Advanced intel on the layout of the course. I will say this, though. The course is much better than it was last year. Last year, it was kind of a boring, I don't want to say boring. Sorry, Hank. But it was a mundane. It was like no frills.
It required more skill, maybe, than this does.
Yeah, this has a couple wild card holes in it.
Yeah.
For sure.
You're a gimmick guy. You like gimmicks.
Yeah, that's me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like a windmill on my golf course.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got in the news. Ovi broke Wayne Gretzky's record on Sunday morning. Almost broke it on Friday night. Almost had a hat trick to break it at home, and then instead went on the road to Long Island, broke it there.
You didn't want to go, huh?
I very much wanted to go. Very much wanted to go. I had a little podcast I taped called Part of My Take.
You've done it remote before.
That's true, but we had some interviews.
Okay.
So
would have been sick to be there.
It would have been.
But I also saw the ticket prices, and if you went there, I mean, I'm sure you would have been fine, but some people, like, the tickets were $2,500. And
yeah.
It's certainly not a given that anybody's going to score a goal in a hockey game.
No, and my same friend that is on the DC Defenders group chat, he bought tickets to that game because he lives in New York. He bought tickets to that game like 2-3 months ago.
No way.
Called a shot. How about that?
Wow.
That's impressive.
Pretty cool, right? And then I heard that the Islanders are charging people, I want to say $50, $40 to print out their tickets.
Yeah.
That they had to get a physical copy of the ticket of that game. They're charging you $40 to print it out.
Tennessee started doing that now, where when I was a kid, I collected ticket stubs. Like everything I went to, I would keep the ticket, and I had them all in a book. It was sick.
Ticket stubs are awesome.
Yeah. So now if you go to a Tennessee football game, I think I have one. Yeah, I have one back here. Hang on.
So you pay money, an additional fee to get the stub after you've already paid for the ticket and gotten in. Let's see. Is that graded?
So you pay for your ticket to the game, which is on your phone, and then if you want an actual ticket, now they look cool. They're like well done. It has the score of the game and everything.
Yeah, most tickets don't have the score of the game on.
Right, but if you want a ticket stub from the game, you have to pay. I think that was like $25 or something.
This would be real good evidence for college sports are rigged. Be like, here's my ticket to the Tennessee Florida game. It's got the score on it.
Right.
It even breaks
Stats,
it.
too.
It's got Nico didn't have a great game, but you still won. No touchdowns, 1 pick, 169 yards. Squirrel White put up some numbers. Yeah.
That's a first.
I mean, they're rubbing it in your face.
Yeah.
They're showing you.
Yeah. And that's cool, but I'd rather just have the ticket that you got for 100 years before.
I agree. But yeah, Ovi got it. It was very cool to see that. Ovi's been like one constant thing in my sports life since I was in college. So it was very cool to see him get that. And he's probably going to get 900. I heard somebody say he might get 1,000. I'd be surprised if he got to 1,000 because he's
1,000.
Yeah,
that's 2 more years of 50.
I mean, if you watch how he played this year, he had a great year. Like he's not as fast as he used to be. He doesn't throw the body around quite as much, but he's still one of the best players, if not the best player on the team. I'd say Tom Wilson probably better than him right now, but he's still right up there. And so if he's not slowing down, I guess it's possible, but I doubt that he gets there.
The last 3 years he's had 42, 31, 42.
Yeah.
So 1,000 would be pretty insane.
Yeah, 42 with 6-7 games left.
Yeah, something like that.
So the way that he celebrated last night was pretty cool. He goes back to DC, and there's a video of him walking into a bar, and it's the best way you can enter a party ever. You walk in, and this lady comes up to him and just hands him 2 beers, 1 for each hand. That's going to be a great night if that's how you're starting it out. So Ovi had a good celebration. I'm very, very happy for him. It's cool to see.
Record he said couldn't be broken.
Yeah, I mean, most people thought that, myself included, it was an unbreakable record because it's an insane amount of goals. And Ovi did it in the exact same number of games that Wayne Gretzky had.
Pretty
No
nuts.
way.
Yeah.
One
Wow.
more goal in the exact same number of games.
Pretty cool, right?
That's insane.
1,487,
Something like that.
I believe. And Ovi had 2 seasons that were taken away from him for like lockouts and also COVID. So
That's true.
So
I thought of that.
He could be approaching 1,000 right now if it wasn't for those. But yeah, it was very, very cool to see. Wayne Gretzky had a bunch of gifts that he gave away. He had like some diamonds and shit for the wife. I've run into Ovi a couple times around DC. One time I saw him when he was rehabbing from a sprained MCL, and I was going for a run around the neighborhood, and his house was like 2 miles away from my parents' house. So I'm like going for a jog, and I see this guy, and it's just a guy on like a Huffy bike, like 1-speed mountain bike, and he's decked out in sweats with his head pulled over his head, or his hood pulled over his head, and he's just like pedaling up this hill that I'm jogging down, and I'm like, man, that guy's a fucking monster pedaling that 1-speed bike up this hill. And then I keep jogging, and then maybe like 50 yards behind him, his wife is out, and I'm like, oh shit, that's Ovi's wife walking by. And then after I saw her, I was like, oh fuck, that's Ovi. And so then I acted like I was tired. I pretended that I was tired, put my hands on my legs and caught my breath for a little bit. I actually was tired because it was 2 miles. And then I saw what Ovi was doing. He was just biking up this hill and then walking his bike down the hill and then biking his bike up the hill again. That was his rehab that he was doing. And then jogged past his house. The gate on his house, instead of having like vertical posts, they're all hockey sticks. That makes the gate on his house. And at Christmas time, instead of putting up Christmas decorations, he just puts a giant, like 50-foot inflatable Mickey Mouse in the front of his house. That's how he celebrates Christmas. Yeah, I don't know if that's a Russian thing or not, but yeah, Ovi's the best. Love the guy. Love the celebration. The belly flop was awesome. So we're lucky. We're lucky to be living in the time of Ovi. Also in the news today, the Sentinelese Islands are back. We love the Sentinelese Islands. Nobody is allowed to go there because they'll kill you. But there's always like some person that thinks that they can change them. They see the Sentinelese people and they're like, all they need is just hear from me. This one guy got arrested actually because the Indian government doesn't let people go to the Sentinelese Islands. But there's a 24-year-old American YouTuber. It doesn't list his. Oh, it does have his name. Mikhailo Polyakov. Sounds Russian. You want to look that guy up, see what his YouTube channel does? He's from Scottsdale, Arizona. He's 24 years old. He got arrested because he went to the North Sentinel Island and he left a peace offering for them of a can of Diet Coke and a coconut, saying, please don't kill me. And then he left. So apparently they didn't kill the guy. But he got back to India and they arrested him there because you're not allowed to go to the Sentinelese Islands because it will usually result in some sort of a search and rescue thing where they have to send a bunch of people out in boats to try to recover your remains, or they have to try to rescue you. So you're not allowed to go there. It's really one island where murder is kind of legal.
I would have guessed this guy had millions of subscribers on YouTube to be doing shit like that. He has 19 videos with 2,000 subscribers.
Does it have the video of him leaving the Diet Coke?
No, but he does have a lot of videos going through Taliban-controlled Afghanistan.
And he's only how many views do those have?
I mean, here's one. He's like shooting guns with the Taliban, and it's got 76 likes on it. I can't see the views, but
this guy, you got to get those numbers up, man.
Imagine like hanging out with the Taliban and you're doing it for 76 likes.
No, that's sad.
Yeah.
Like, is this guy's game plan get killed?
A lot of them are 13,000, 10,000, 3,000. And I'm sure those have gone up since.
Yeah. This guy's game plan might be get murdered in one of these places and then your channel will blow up.
I haven't seen an explanation for him leaving a Diet Coke.
No.
Has that been talked about anywhere?
Maybe he just thought that they'd like the taste and less
like,
calories.
Yeah, like imagine if you're on a remote island and then you get a lick of a fucking Diet Coke.
I mean, at least bring them a classic.
Yeah. Some people like Diet Coke better.
It might have been like the Kendall Jenner video where offering a Pepsi.
Yeah.
He
But it's like,
gives them a Diet Coke, and they're like, they just slowly put down their bow and arrow.
do you think they would know how to open it? Or they just stab it?
Probably just stab it.
Yeah, I'd guess.
Shoot it with a bow and arrow. Yeah.
Do we know how many people live on that island?
I don't think we know much at all. All I know about them is they are very skilled marksmen, archers. They're very skilled archers with their bows and arrows, and they do not like outsiders going there. And one of the reasons they don't like outsiders is because they don't have an immune system like we have. So if you bring over a germ, or you have, just stuff that we walk around, we're just bastions, we're just vessels of germs and bacteria that we all have natural immunity from. But if you bring it to a place like that, they don't have that protection, so they get very sick and they can die very easily. So that's another reason why they don't like outsiders.
So is the plan just nobody goes there ever?
Yeah.
Like, for the rest of time, and they just exist as like this anachronistic tribe that never catches up to the rest of civilization?
That's pretty much it, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I guess. It's interesting that there's a place like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could, when I say we, I mean like what we think of as a civilized country. But I'm sure if the Indian Navy wanted to invade, they probably could, but they'd probably have to kill a lot of people. And what would be the point of that? So since they're on an island, they're doing their own thing, it's like, let's just let them do what they do and don't ask questions about it.
Yeah, I guess.
So you're not allowed within 3 miles of it, according to Indian law. And people who have gone there before trying to like spread Christianity, there was one guy that went there with a Bible, and they shot arrows at him, so he got in a boat and went away. And then he went back the next day, and then they killed him. And then some fishermen accidentally landed ashore there when their boat broke down back in 2005, I believe. And yeah, it killed both those guys too. So just don't go. That's probably one island where we can say definitively they probably haven't listened to Macrodosing, I would imagine.
Do we know how many countries people have listened to this show in?
I think when we get the Spotify Wrapped at the end of the year, I believe every time I've seen it, it's been oh god, now I don't want to like totally butch it, but I believe it's around like 50 something maybe.
That's good.
I would like, now that I think about it, that seems like what a jewel in our crown that would be if we could get somebody in North Sentinel Island to listen to the show. There should be like, was it Vlad TV? Is that the guy that does the drama recaps from YouTubers and rappers and shit?
I know there's a guy like Drama Alert or something.
Drama Alert. There should be a Drama Alert for like what goes on, all the gossip on the Sentinelese Islands.
I'm sure that would do numbers.
It would do huge numbers. You can just make it up.
I just thought of another game that we could play at some point. If we ever find a definitive list of all the countries that people have listened to this show, we do like an eliminator where you have to guess a country that you could do has or hasn't listened to the show until you get to one that you get wrong, and then you're out.
I like that.
So like if we're doing countries that haven't, I think that like if you guess North Korea, I'm assuming nobody in North Korea has listened to this show, but then I
don't know. Kim Jong-un is he loves basketball. We talk a lot about the NBA with Arian.
Could be a tourist over there maybe.
Yeah.
I've been seeing some more like North Korean tourist content recently. Are they relaxing on that?
So they do allow some tourists. They're just very, very strict of what you can and can't do while you're there. So they assign you a chaperone, and he follows you around everywhere. You can't, like, they're very particular about the pictures that you're allowed to take.
Mm-hmm.
If you take a picture of a statue, it must be only the statue. You can't crop out like the head or the arms or the feet. It has to be the entire statue in the frame, or else they make you delete it. There's a lot of rules. But you can do it.
Have you seen the movie? I don't know the name of it, but it's the guys who snuck out like secret footage from North Korea that they were supposed to delete.
No.
It's pretty like mundane. Like it's not remarkably interesting, but they just show like there's one part where they're in this family's apartment and they're supposed to be being shown like how great it is to live in Pyongyang. and their chaperone just keeps making the family like redo the scene that they're doing basically.
Uh-huh.
And so that's the shit they make you delete and that you can't take with you, but these guys snuck it out. So they just show you stuff like that, which is kind of interesting, I guess. But
yeah, I mean, I love watching shows about North Korea. I love all the footage. It's fascinating to me. I don't think that they allow people from the U.S. there unless you're like part of some international organization, but they do allow some other tourists from other countries there. What other countries would not have any listeners at all? Of Mongolia?
I'm going to guess Myanmar has not made it.
You don't think so?
I don't know. It's just a guess.
Yeah. The Vatican.
I was going to say Luxembourg.
What?
Same strategy.
I think Luxembourg, yes.
I would say the Vatican is far more likely because you have a lot of tourists going to the Vatican who might just be Americans that are there on a Thursday.
Yeah.
And they're listening.
I'm thinking of this just like what are non-English speaking countries?
I mean, there's a lot of them.
I have a stupid question.
Lesotho.
What?
Is there some sort of service that like will
translate our podcast?
Yeah. Like are there people in probably not China because I'm sure it's very highly regulated, but like
Japan.
Yeah, are there people in Japan that are listening to American podcasts like translated into Japanese?
That would be awesome.
That's a good question.
Because there's a lot of bands out there that they fly under the radar in the United States. They don't have a lot of support, but they're massive in Japan. And it's hard to find a rhyme or reason for why, but
are American?
Yeah, American bands. They go over to Japan and they're superstars.
You know who's huge in I think it's Asia? Drake Bell.
I was gonna say I believe it's Mexico actually.
It's okay. It's somewhere. Yeah.
I believe it's Mexico. He's really big in.
It's like David Hasselhoff
yes.
is huge in Germany.
Oh really?
Oh yeah. Oh, they love the Hoff in Germany. Can't get enough of them.
Yeah.
It's
kind of like reverse K-pop.
Yeah. Let's try to do that. Let's try to translate this into Japanese. Maybe not this episode.
Well, we could have Quigs do it.
Yeah, Quigs could do it. Quigs can do anything.
Yeah.
It is Mexico for Drake Bell.
Mm-hmm.
What do they like about him down there?
I don't know. I think he's like selling out stadiums down there. For what? I'm not quite sure.
Good for him. Back to the stock market real quick. What do we think? What's going to happen?
I'm sure it will be fine and keep going up as it has forever and ever.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, when people are freaking out about, since we've been doing it, it's been ripping.
Okay.
Since we've been doing the show, it's up today.
Why? Did somebody else tweet?
I don't know, but it's up. The S&P 500 is up 0.5% today.
Okay.
It was down like 4% when we started the show. So as I said, I'm sure everything will be fine and it will continue going up fucking 50% every 5 years.
Well, here's where it gets interesting is the purpose of the tariffs are to reimagine American manufacturing. So it's not like the tariffs aren't meant to stimulate the economy immediately.
Mm-hmm.
The purpose of them are to level some of the trade deficits we have with other countries in the idea that we're going to be able to do and manufacture all the things from all the other countries right here in America. But to build up like the factories and the workers and the companies and all that shit, that would probably take years, not weeks or months. Right?
Okay.
Am I far off on this?
I don't keep going.
Okay, so then wouldn't it stand to reason that when we would see the recovery, it would be like a year in the future?
Maybe.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though, is the Republican senators some of them are going to be up for re-election, and they're not going to like the idea that they have to wait a year or 2 years to see any results. So it's going to get very interesting. Also, the tariffs aren't really tariffs. It was just they took the trade deficit, exports divided by imports, times what, 0.5?
Yeah, divided in half.
Yeah, so it really they just made up what the tariffs were, which is crazy that they did that and then got caught doing that. So I guess what I'm saying is don't be a panicking.
Correct.
Don't be a panicking. which is a new party that Trump invented this morning.
It's a good word.
Just let the man golf. Let him be king. Let other people do the like policy shit, and he just goes out there and golfs and makes fun of people he doesn't like.
S&P's up today. That's all I know.
That's good. I hope, and I'm not somebody that needs like any sort of profit in the stock market right now. I'm not planning on retiring, but people who are planning on retiring, not a great thing to wake up and see for the last few days.
NASDAQ's up more than 1%. Today.
Okay. All right. Let's cook. Let's keep this momentum going. Just keep the tweets up. All right. Do we want to do any voicemails today? I would love to do some voicemails today.
Also, can we get an update on Blake?
Yes. So Blake update. He's got a torn ACL.
What happened?
Damn.
How?
I don't know. He got hurt at daycare. He was limping when I picked him up from daycare, and then he didn't get any better, and so I took him to the vet. He was terrified of the vet. He's always been awesome taking him to the vet in the past, but this time we went, and he was like, "Fuck you! I don't want to be here." He was scared, and so then I had to take him home and then give him a bunch of anxiety medication, and then brought him back, and then they finally were able to check him out and gave him an X-ray, move the joint around. And he's got a torn ACL, which in dogs is called a CCL, but it's the same thing. So I don't know if he's going to have an Adrian Peterson-like recovery or if it's going to be like an old school, let's rub some dirt on it. But I met with a surgeon this morning, and they're going to cut part of his tibia off and replace it with like a bone plate to support the knee. So Thursday, he's having surgery.
Oh my God, poor kid.
But they say that he should be back by the start of training camp. So we're looking at maybe late June, early July. He'll be a full go. So I expect him to be, as good as he ever was by the start of the regular season. The problem with Blake and dogs and their ACLs in general, though.
Say the other one.
Yeah, if you tear one, you have like a 50% chance of tearing the other one.
What can you do to prevent that?
Not a lot.
Okay.
So I've been like lifting Blake up and down the steps recently because he's not supposed to put any weight on it. The funniest is when he has to go poop because he's got a lot of instability in the back leg. I have to like stand next to him and try to support him while he poops. So Blake and I have been getting very close recently. And this morning took him to see the surgeon, and while they were giving him the exam, he just pooped.
Oh,
he was just laying down, and they're like moving his knee around, and just a big old turd fell out.
Oh.
And they're like, "That's okay. That just means he might be scared, but he's not showing it. But he's just so like internally afraid
Right.
that he's just crapping himself."
That's so cute.
It is kind of, it's funny, but I also feel, obviously I feel bad for him.
Yeah, of course.
But the good news is, he had double elbow surgery a year ago.
Right, like his joints.
Yeah. Big giant dogs, bad genes when it comes to that stuff sometimes. So, but his elbows are great. His elbows it's like Tommy John. You come back throwing harder than you were before.
Could be good for him.
Yeah. Our thoughts and prayers with Blake right now, but he's passed out at home. So I had to give him a bunch of anxiety medication before I took him in this morning. So I set an alarm, woke up, and he's gotten smart. So we had the pill pockets, right, where you can put the pills inside the treats. I put those in his mouth, and he just spits them out, like, across the room, like, immediately. Doesn't even taste it. He's just like, I know what's in here. You're not going to fuck with me. So it was a chore being able to give him all his pills. And then I took him in, and they said, how much medicine did he have? And I said, well, he had 4 of the anti-anxiety pills, and then he had 4 of the pain pills. And the nurse looked at me like, what? Are you serious? And I was like, yeah, the doctor told me from the ER that I could give him up to 8, but that would be a high dose. And Blake was like walking around and shit. He was like able to move. And she's like, I've never seen a dog have 4 of those pills and be awake. And Blake was just like acting normal.
He's built different.
Built different. That dude's got a tolerance. Yeah. But he'll be okay. He'll be all right. We got him. He's going under the knife on Thursday, picking him up on Friday, and then we start the rehab process. So, yeah, it'll be okay. Before we get to voicemails, they're brought to you by A24 and Alex Garland and Iraq War veteran Ray Mendoza. They present Warfare. It's a visceral boots-on-the-ground story. It embeds audiences with Navy SEALs stationed in an Iraqi apartment building. In IMAX and theaters everywhere, April 11th. Get your tickets now. That's Warfare, in theaters everywhere, and IMAX, April 11th.
Nothing to do there except drink and have fun. So
Sounds awesome.
that makes sense. But question here, and this is for Big T and everyone else. Since Hollywood has completely canceled everything, especially comedies, what's one comedy you can think of that would for sure be canceled today? One of my favorite comedies ever, Tropic Thunder, and there's no way that would play today. I'd love to hear your guys' answers.
Okay.
Okay.
Stay gorgeous.
Oh,
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Pretty.
I wish I could remember. I watched something the other day, and they said something, and I was like, oh, there's no chance you could do that now. And now I don't remember what it was.
I know it's popular to say Tropic Thunder could not be remade today. I don't know that I agree with that. Because the point of Robert Downey Jr.'s character in that movie, he's the guy that has blackface on, is making fun of Hollywood phony elite actors that take their job so seriously. The expense is at them. So traditional, I say traditional, but like historical blackface was done to make fun of black people and to exaggerate whatever mannerisms that you wanted to make fun of. Tropic Thunder was done to make fun of actors that could convince themselves in the value and prestige of their art so much that they would go to the same lengths as getting dressed up and accidentally being very racist while trying to pursue their noble craft that they thought. That was the point of why that character was funny. So I still think that plays. But you might be right. It would probably take a studio exec to look at that and they would probably get more nervous. But I still think it plays.
I mean, I think the answer is most of them. I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry.
Yeah.
Could never make that.
Yeah, probably.
Benchwarmers?
Yeah, benchwarmers maybe.
No, you could do that.
I feel like there's only certain things, but
What's in benchwarmers you couldn't do?
like just some of the things they say. is
Yeah,
what
like that's what every movie probably says something that like
Yeah.
they just wouldn't have in there now. Like benchwarmers, I think the movie could be fine.
Do you think that Forrest Gump would get made today?
No,
I don't think it would.
no.
I don't think at all.
And that's your favorite movie.
It is my favorite movie ever. And I don't think it would get made right now.
Yeah.
Tom, we're going to need you to talk like stupider. Can you do that?
Yeah, exactly.
I can do that. Those must be comfortable shoes. Bet you could walk around all day and not feel a thing in those shoes.
You know where that was filmed?
Savannah, Georgia.
Correct.
Yeah. Beautiful city. Savannah might be
Never been actually.
really.
Yeah.
I gotta put a list together of underrated cities. Because I think Savannah it might be number one.
But I feel like everyone says that,
Do they?
so it's not underrated.
I've
I've never heard someone speak poorly about Savannah.
It's great. It's a fantastic place. Beautiful. Beautiful parks, great weather, kind of humid, but great weather. Fantastic St. Patrick's Day celebration. Awesome food. Some of the best food I've ever had, actually. Yeah, it's a great place. Highly recommend Savannah.
Yeah, I never got down there.
What else would be on your list of underrated cities?
Okay.
I like Cincinnati.
Columbus is better than Cincinnati.
Columbus is good, but I don't know that Columbus could be underrated.
Why? Because of Ohio State?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's the biggest city in Ohio, right?
It is.
So like a lot of people, and it's not like Cincinnati is a secret, but I feel like people get a vibe from Cincinnati that doesn't really add up from how fun it is.
Cincinnati is a definitely like vibier. It's the vibiest, I think, of the major three in Ohio.
Yeah.
I don't know how Boston is rated, but I enjoyed Boston a lot. I love DC. I'll tell you one that you wouldn't think would be on your list. I think Lexington, Kentucky is a beautiful place.
Really?
I like Lexington, Kentucky a lot. Don't love all the people there, but I like the town.
You don't like the color scheme
Yeah.
around town.
Um,
I had a good time in Lexington. I just went there. I did a couple bourbon tastings,
okay.
so didn't really get to see much of the city, But got the vibe. The vibe's great.
I went to the pizza place that kicked Dave out, but it was after they'd fixed it, and it was good.
Okay.
They were wearing shirts that the name of the place was Goodfellas, and the 2 O's in Goodfellas were 0.0.
I like that.
Yeah.
Gotta lean into it.
Yeah. 2 of my favorite cities are Clearwater and Fort Myers, Florida. Love Fort Myers, Florida for much of the same reason Orland Park, Illinois. I love it's just mini golf and chain restaurants and shit. Every year during the summer I go to Naples, Florida, and I take one day where I go up to Fort Myers and do mini golf and go to Yard House and all that sort of shit. Go to the minor league baseball game, the Mighty Muscles. It's a whole day of it's Big T Day.
That's a great day.
Yep.
Wilmington, North Carolina.
So I have not been to Wilmington, North Carolina, but it's on my.
Big T.
Oh, I know. That's why it's on my list.
What?
It's
Where they shot
One Tree Hill was filmed. So I've got a buddy that lives in Raleigh, and at some point we're gonna go to Wilmington.
Wilmington is great. It's a great place to go. Yeah, those are the big ones that come to mind. I like Seattle. I don't know if you can say Seattle is underrated,
Oh, I'm dying to go.
but I think it is underrated. You ever have a crumpet?
No.
It's a great.
Like the English little pastry?
Yeah. You don't hear about crumpets that much in the United States. They get
And they're in Seattle?
great crumpet. Well, there's one called called
there's-
the Crumpet Shop.
Oh, got it.
But it's delicious.
Clever.
Honestly, too, I know, I mean, obviously big city and we talk about it a lot on the show, but like people aren't talking enough about San Diego.
Oh, I was about to say, can I give you my overrated?
And that was going to be on there. I think more people should be talking
All
about San
I've
Diego.
heard-
all
You don't
the
like
time.
planes?
All I've heard for my entire life, it never rains there. It's 78 degrees every day. It's the most beautiful you've ever seen. When did we go there? June,
We
July?
went in June. It was June, and it was June gloom.
Yeah,
That's what they
we
all
went
said.
to San Diego in June, and it was about 56 degrees with every cloud in the sky. Didn't see the sun.
June
That's
gloom.
the marine layer.
Didn't see the sun the whole time I was there, and I was told this is the most beautiful place on earth.
Mackenzie and I during that trip went to La Jolla, and that was like the best.
What is La Jolla?
I think it's just like the most rich suburb there,
Okay.
or
Yeah.
like most rich
It's
part.
where all the seals like sit out on
Yeah.
the beach.
Are you talking
right-
about Navy
it's-
SEALs or actual?
No.
Because you
Well,
have to
Actual
ask
seals.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
no, actual seals. But then like it's up.
The animal.
The whole city is like up a cliff, and then everything just overlooks the water. Very pretty.
That sounds pretty.
I did
nice.
love that hotel we went to. What was the name of that hotel?
Hotel del Coronado.
Yes.
That's
Beautiful
like a fancy
hotel.
Oh
hotel.
yeah, on the beach.
Yeah.
One time I went to University of San Diego. I was going to a wedding that was, I think it took place on the campus, and I can't believe that's a school.
All of
I-
those like
I-
California coastal schools, it's like you
Yeah.
are not fair.
I can't believe that people. That's where they spend 4 years, the 4 like most carefree years of their life,
Yeah.
is on that campus. And
I always think about that with UCSB.
yes, Santa Barbara it's legit.
Yeah. I can we put that on there? I haven't been there, but I feel like that's underrated. People aren't talking about that enough too.
Yeah, unless you're Mark Titus, and then that's all you do is talk about Santa Barbara.
Right. How you used to live there.
Yeah, he just looks up houses on Zillow in Santa Barbara all the time.
Yeah.
Trying to think if I have any more underrated cities. Madison, Wisconsin.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say Madison too.
That's fun.
I feel like a lot of these are just like good college towns,
Yeah.
walkable cities.
Indy.
Never been.
Haven't been either.
I like Indy.
Good
Ithaca,
steakhouse.
New York, is actually an underrated college town.
Ithaca.
Yeah,
It's gorgeous.
it is.
Have you heard that one?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what's cute? New Haven, Connecticut.
Yeah.
I like New Haven.
Yeah.
That was cute.
It's another place when I lived in New York. I said at some point on a weekend I'm going to go there and do all the pizza things, and I never went.
Pizza was so good.
It is. Yeah, the pizza's delicious there.
Yale is so pretty.
Yeah, I went there in the fall, in October, and walking around camp, you feel like you're in a movie in the 1980s
Yeah.
about college. It's
Yeah.
like it's exactly what you think. And then there's my favorite thing about New Haven is there's 2 different cheeseburger places that claim that they invented the cheeseburger.
I thought their whole thing was just pizza. I didn't know they had burger
No, they're
competition as well.
they're claiming everything up there.
Their pizza was so fucking good.
It is good.
I thought it was a place in New York City that invented the burger.
Well, this might be in dispute then.
Something lunch. Lenny's lunch or Lonnie's lunch, something like that.
It might be. I don't know, but there's definitely at least one place in New Haven that claims it.
Yeah, no. good. All big college towns, basically.
Yeah. Let's see. Anything else I'm leaving off? That covers it. Hot Springs, Arkansas. Also good.
Shout out Duggars.
They're Little Rock.
It's Arkansas, though.
Oh.
Somehow,
How big can Arkansas be?
somehow Little Rock is overrated.
I've never heard it be rated one way or the other.
Yeah, somehow it's overrated.
I've heard, where's, Fayetteville? I've heard Fayetteville's awesome.
Never been, but I've heard good things. All right.
Yeah.
Good list.
Okay. Next voicemail?
Next voicemail. Unless we have any other movies that can be made.
I think pretty much every comedy from like 2002 to 2012 would not be made.
You don't think Anchorman would?
I'd have to go back and watch it, but I bet there's a lot of shit in Anchorman that wouldn't be said today.
What's the thing he says to the Christina Applegate?
So
And
he says a lot of things to her.
The you dumb bitch.
Yeah, he says a bunch of shit like that. I don't know.
You could still do that. In a comedy?
Yeah.
It's not like the
You
point
can't
of
say
Will
bitch.
Ferrell's character is like, look how awesome this guy is.
Yeah.
He's a gentleman.
True.
It's like this guy is a blowhard, egotistical news anchor.
Right. Okay.
Burgundy will read whatever you put on the prompter.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Macrodosing crew. This is Derek calling in from Cleveland. Y'all are beautiful and equally gorgeous.
Sounds like communism.
am drunk. This, I believe, was a request from the episode of Thursday to
Yep.
call in instead of calling her. I'm looking for advice on getting out of a funk. Similar to the gentleman who called in on Thursday, I'm going through a breakup. I'll spare the details. See, I'm mixing my words up. We both didn't want things to end, but they had to. It was toxic. It wasn't a cheating relationship, but we just didn't get along after a couple of years, and things had to end. So I've been in a funk even before we broke up, just feeling like I'm not happy with things in my life, which is funny because from a career standpoint, I'm doing very well. From a physical and diet standpoint, I'm excelling in those areas as well, but I still find myself in this gray area of seeking happiness but not knowing where to find it. So to make a long story short, I'm looking to ask crew, what do you do when you're in a funk and you're trying to get out of it? Let me know. I'll sit back and listen. Looking forward to hearing from y'all. Thanks, gang.
So it sounds like he's doing most of the things that we would recommend. Right. Like he's working out. He said he's excelling
at his career
and physical fitness.
Physical fitness.
So congrats on the hot bod. I think I said this a couple weeks ago, but I'll emphasize it. Do something that you're really good at. If you're really good at something, that will naturally make you feel better. Maybe it's something that you haven't done in a while. Maybe it's a hobby that you used to have that you're good at, or an activity. But if you do something that you're really good at, that always makes you feel better. Gives you a little bit of self-confidence. I would also say spending time outside.
If he's in Cleveland, go to the lake.
Spend a lot of time outside. Mm-hmm. Maybe travel on your own. Maybe do something outside, just a solo trip. I think a lot of people sometimes they feel anxious or apprehensive, like it's weird if you take a trip on your own. Sometimes that's the best way to figure out what makes you happy. You get to do all the stuff you want to do when you want to do it, and you'll probably have a great time. And if you're doing stuff outside, that's cool too, because it gives you some time to think in nature, which typically makes people happier. Mm-hmm. That's my advice. Take it or leave it. But thank you for calling us when you're drunk.
Instead of calling her.
Also, good job not calling her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We had a lot of voicemails that were like, hey, I'm drunk. I'm trying not to call my ex. Needed to talk to you about yada, yada.
That's funny.
I love that.
I want to be a beacon of light for you guys.
Right.
Yeah. Give us a call.
Mm-hmm. I will say also sticking to a rigid routine. Or not rigid, but like a routine.
Yeah.
Because then you don't have time to think about like the what ifs. I'm busy getting to my next thing.
I have a buddy that went through a breakup, and it was so hard on him that he just joined the military.
Jesus
Wow.
Christ.
Holy
shit.
mackerel.
Yeah.
Good pension.
That's insane.
Yeah, he was like, I need a routine. I know what I'll do. I'll join the Army.
Oh my God.
And he's doing pretty good.
I mean, good for
Yeah.
him. Yeah.
I'm not saying that that's a good way to
No, yeah.
for everybody to get over a breakup, but this guy did it. And yeah, he's an officer.
Wow.
Wow. Good for him. All right, last one.
Hey, Macrodosing crew. This is Drew. I'm from the Philadelphia area, Delco, if you will. Failed podcaster, successful auditor. I have a couple of things that you might be able to help me with. So the first thing is I'm about to move in with my girlfriend. She is a very clean woman. She's, keeps everything tidy, very clean, maybe to an excessive degree. And I am a clean person in training, if you will. So I'm wondering, when we move in, how do I approach subjects where I think maybe the cleanliness being asked of me is excessive? And if any of you have experienced the same thing and how you handled it. The second item I'm having some difficulty with is I have a dog. She is half German Shepherd, half Australian Shepherd, or as I like to call, a weapon. And I think she's having some similar issues that I've heard PFT mention Blake having, where, just wants to fight people for little to no reason. Everyone wants to come up and talk to her because she's a beautiful dog. And she's fine with people until you start speaking to me, and that's when she just really flips out. So I'm definitely wondering if PFT, you've gotten any successful tips that have helped with Blake that I could start applying with my dog. And lastly, just to leave you on a good note, I want to ask, are you alive or are you living?
Ooh. All right, so 3-parter. Which one do we want to start with?
I think the third.
Are you alive or are you living? What do you think that means?
I think you're both.
Yeah.
I think you're
I go back and forth sometimes.
living while you're alive.
Yeah.
I'm currently living.
Right.
That's an accurate adjective to describe what I'm doing right now. I'm
Wait,
breathing.
you get the question though.
No.
Are you serious?
Are you alive?
He's saying like, are you just existing or are you thriving?
Oh,
That's
it's
what I.
okay.
Yeah,
it's
that's how I.
Oh,
kinda
I took it as like,
a brain teaser.
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
He's saying like, are you just going through the motions or are you living life to its fullest?
At this right now, I think I'm living right in this second, right now, because I didn't get any sleep last night, and was at the doctor's all day with the dog.
Well, that would be alive.
Okay, so I'm
Alive would be like more mundane.
Oh, wait,
I
I'm
thought the other way around.
Yeah.
That's what I'm on Big T's
No.
side of this.
Alive is more exciting, right, Mad
Yeah.
Dog?
Yeah.
No, alive is
no.
just
Like,
you're
I'm
existing. Living means you're doing
Like you're
shit.
living.
Oh,
Living is
Okay.
a more active
That's
word.
what I thought too.
I'm taking it to PFT. So.
Yeah. I guess we have to agree to disagree on that one.
Yeah, do whatever you want.
I think
don't give a
during
shit.
football season, I'm truly alive.
I think during football season you're living.
But that means the same thing.
Right, because
For
you guys
us.
have different.
Sure. Yeah.
But outside of football season, I'm living. Like when I'm watching NBA basketball, NBA playoffs, I enjoy them. I get amped up depending on who's playing sometimes, but there's nothing like the fall. Nothing like it. Oh God, I want it to be football season so bad.
This is a pretty great time though.
It is.
Masters, NCAA tournament, baseball,
I'd say
hockey and basketball playoffs.
Yeah, I'd say this week I'm living,
Okay.
but in Big T's way.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. So what else was there? There was the dog.
The dog and then his girlfriend's a
cleanliness.
clean freak.
Or I'll just say with the dog, Blake hasn't bit anybody. He did not behave when he was at the doctor, but that's because he was in pain. Actually, on the way into the doctor, I was walking him down the sidewalk, and somebody came up on the corner and was like, "Yo, PFT, can I get a picture real quick?" Which, always happy to say hi to people. In this situation, Blake was in a lot of pain.
Oh.
And he's also like, he likes to stand in between me and if like a stranger comes up, and he just like jumped up in the air, and I had to be like, "Whoa, Blake, down, boy, down." And I think he freaked this guy out, but it ended up being okay. But Blake hasn't tried to bite anybody. But I would say the best thing for Blake by far is just exercise. So it sounds like you've got 2 very active dogs, and the German Shepherd side of it is like extra neurotic. The Australian side is more just probably maybe a little bit neurotic too, but super intelligent and always thinking, maybe a little bit anxious to have a job to do. So I would just say exercise the fuck out. Make that dog tired. When Blake's tired, he's the best dog. That's the best advice I can give because I'm not a dog handler. Now for the other one, moving in with a clean person. He's a clean person in training, which tells me that he's dirty. He's also a failed podcaster. There's no such thing as a failed. That's actually, it's a little bit redundant saying that you're a failed podcaster. But how do you broach the subject of, hey, maybe I might be dirty to your clean girlfriend?
Well,
She should know.
he said
She knows.
I would just say don't use the terminology he used in the question, which is where he said, where I feel like the cleanliness being asked of me is excessive. I would not use the word excessive.
No.
Yeah. This is kind of like similar to the dog advice when it comes to having a job to do or having clear expectations. What this guy has to do is you got to know what chores are yours.
Clearly defined role.
Yes. If she tells you your job in this house is going to be cleaning the countertops, taking the trash out, emptying the dishwasher, and cleaning the bathroom sink once a week, then you can know what your job is and you can check those off and be like, okay, here's what I have to do. As opposed to her being like, just if you see something dirty, clean it up. That's not going to work for this guy. You got to have like maybe even a giant poster that you get to put stickers on every time you do the thing that you're supposed to do. And then if you get 5 stickers, you get a pizza party. Whatever it is, you got to know what your assignments are, because it sounds like he wants to be clean, or he wants her to be happy.
Make an effort,
yes.
yeah, at least.
So sometimes it's just about having her know that it's okay to give you these assignments. That's going to work out better for both of you.
Hold yourself accountable.
Yep. Any other advice?
Yeah, I would just really shy away from the calling her excessive.
Don't upset her.
Yeah. Also, Chap said something. We were talking the other day, and Chaps was saying something about being married, and he said the best advice I can give is just, if you're a guy, just don't care. Like, not about the marriage itself, but like, he was like, curtains, don't care.
Right. Yeah.
Like, don't make your life harder than it needs to be. Like, just don't care about the stuff that doesn't affect you like that. I think that might fall into this, where it's like, her being clean will ultimately like make your house a better place. Like, it'll make your guys' life better. And if it seems like she likes being a clean freak, let her do it. And not to say you guys know, like, I want my women to stand up. But if like she wants the house to be a certain way, don't try to fix her. Let her do what she wants, and you just kind of like fall in line and be like, this is not my problem. Pick your battle.
Yeah.
King. And let your queen shine. But don't try to be like, actually, I think you're doing too much here.
Yeah. Don't feel like you have to contribute to every major decision in the house. If she's like, I like these decorative pillows on the couch, just be like, okay.
If she wants to get if she wants to get a Roomba, let that girl get a Roomba. Like, it's not making your day one way or the other.
Also, don't buy a Roomba as a present.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't buy like unless she's like
Also,
really into it, don't buy like cleaning stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if it's like the coolest new cleaning invention that you've seen in a while.
She sounds like she might love that, though.
Yeah, unless
you're falling into the trap.
Unless she asks
Yes,
for it.
yes, if
like
she-
specifically says, "Can you buy that for me?"
Yeah.
But that's also a just because thing that you buy. Not like for a gift-giving occasion.
Right.
Yes.
You want to
yes.
know what happened the other day? My dad texted me and he said, "Hey Madeline, can you buy your mother on Amazon this cordless leaf blower?" And I said, "Sure. Why can't you?" And he said, "I want to surprise her with it." And you know what I did? I bought that cordless leaf blower. And my mom was so excited about it because they had been talking about doing leaf blowing. And he said, I want to make this easier for my queen.
For a second, I thought he was like, your mother has had her eye on this new TaylorMade 7-wood. It's a rescue hybrid. I think she'd really like it. If you can just send it to the house, though. Like, you don't have to put her name on it.
No, but he was like, he didn't want it for like Mother's Day or her birthday, but he was like, she's been talking about it.
Yeah.
So you're saying the issue is not giving cleaning products, it's doing it in lieu of other gifts.
I think it's like big gift Christmas. Like my dad just kind of did that because he was like, oh, we were talking about it and like she would like something like this. Again, for like Mother's Day, I'm one of the daughters, of which I'm sure there are many, that is like, I'm in charge of the gifts for my mom from all of us. Mm-hmm. For a Mother's Day or a birthday, it's not like, here, queen, here's a leaf blower.
Yeah.
But
that's the difference between guys and girls, I think, because a lot of guys wouldn't think twice. They'd be stoked to get like a lawnmower for Father's Day or a lawnmower for a birthday. But if it's a chore and it's like a cleaning thing, like say a very fancy vacuum / Roomba, you probably should not get that for a lady for an occasion like a birthday, unless she specifically requests it.
Right.
And then also get her something else besides just the cleaning thing.
Like I shouldn't have to like your wife or whoever shouldn't have to open a gift and be like, oh great, like a new burden that is placed upon me. Yeah. Like, and I think for like guys, you guys like well, obviously Big T loves the lawnmower moment, but like you guys like lawnmowers as like a therapeutic, meditative thing.
Or like tools.
Yeah, like you guys use that as more of like a meditative thing,
mm-hmm.
less like cleaning or fixing.
I hope to get to the point in my tool career where it's meditative and not just beyond frustrating, because I'm stuck in the frustrating thing where it's like I have to fix this part of my car and then that sucks because I'm not good at it. But then eventually you get good enough where you know what you're doing and then you're like, I love working on the car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, just let her cook.
Not literally.
But not
Harrison Butker.
Yeah. Not in the Harrison Butker way, in the metaphoric way.
Yeah.
What about like a really nice mixer?
Like a stand mixer?
Like a KitchenAid?
Yeah,
I would
KitchenAid
love that.
mixer.
I would love that,
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah. Chicks
like,
love the KitchenAid.
Yes.
Any, like, or like Le Creuset,
mm-hmm.
like one of those really fancy
mm-hmm.
Dutch ovens.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like something like that. Yeah. Because you're getting something nice out of it. Like, you're getting cookies, or you're getting bread, or you're getting cupcakes.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun, in my opinion. Also, the Le Creuset and the KitchenAid, wonderful colors.
Yeah. Nice
aesthetic.
pastel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I want a butter yellow KitchenAid mixer. That's like a dream.
That's your dream?
One of them. But yeah, that would be fun. That's not like, that's different than a vacuum.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we will be back on Thursday.
I have a teed off.
Teed off. What are you teed off about, Big T?
I went to the Cubs game on Saturday, first baseball game of the year. It's a little colder than I would have liked. But there's an issue that's been going on for a very long time, but this was a particularly egregious instance of it. So I guess everyone just sitting around me was sitting in the wrong seat. They just decided they were going to sit there and come what may. So for the first 4 innings of the game, people are arriving and like getting to their seat and they're like, you're in the wrong seat. And then that guy's like, well, our seats are back there, but that guy's in it. And then and it's a chain.
It's a chain. You can't figure out who the first guy is.
They give you a ticket, and it has a thing on it that tells you exactly, never ambiguous, except for at the New Jersey Performing Arts Center where those sons of bitches will sell your ticket 8 times.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, it's very specific exactly where you're supposed to sit.
Yep.
If you get to the game you're going to and you sit in the wrong seat, 6 weeks in jail. If you want a better seat, pay more for it. I'm sick of it. Sit where you're supposed to sit.
Handle your business.
Yeah.
Yeah. The buck stops with you.
This is a society.
So what are you supposed to do in that situation? Find your new seat?
What do you mean?
Like if somebody's like, well, somebody else is sitting in our seat, so we scooted down here.
Well,
Then they're implying that now it's your problem.
No,
where you have
because
to find
this
an empty
solution,
seat.
the solution of jailing people nips it in the bud. The first time there's someone in the wrong seat, cops come, you're gone. Buddy.
I know, I understand
Cuffs.
that, but I'm saying why it sucks for you, because now I'm not making any I'm not taking your solution and nitpicking it. What I'm saying is, in the original situation,
right,
where you showed up, that person, by telling you, well, somebody else took our seat, they are then asking you to go scour the crowd.
Right.
and
Well, I was
find
in the
empty
correct
seats.
seat, but
Yeah.
this was happening all around me. Yes, which is the whole problem.
Yeah, jail. I'm okay with jail.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Or shame. Publicly shame them.
That
Like,
doesn't do it.
on
There's
the
no such
jumbo-
thing anymore.
On the Jumbotron?
There's no such thing
If
anymore.
in between innings, they're like, here are the seat nappers.
Buddy, they put Brandon Johnson on the Jumbotron. There's no such thing as shame. Okay? Like, jail. You need to go to jail.
I agree. Jail. All right. That was Nanodosing. We will see you guys on Thursday for Macrodosing. Till then, love you guys.